Alrighty, we are
Fine
live.
by me.
So, countdown. 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Hunters Hub. This is your host Fortuan, joined tonight only by Ace. How you doing?
Doing good. I'm full of water and chicken sandwich from earlier. So, had a nice filling day and then did a bunch of housework before recording. So I'm all nice and glistering in time for the show.
Even though you showed up like 1 minute till our start time, we're starting the closest to on time ever.
Hey, I mean, we were cutting it down to the wire because we wanted to get the room cleaned up a little bit more in the house. So
Sure.
we were literally finishing up with putting the bed sheet on the bed, and then Andrew was like, "All right, you're free to go," and I was like, "All right, bye,
Thanks, love. See ya.
bye. Gotta go nerd out for an hour or two,
Yeah,
maybe three. I don't know. We get off track sometimes."
we do. We do. So, tonight is all about, well, not all about, because we're never all about one thing, but we're going to be hyping about Sunbreak. And we've talked about Sunbreak here and there, but for this Monster Hunter Week, we have all the known information that we're going to know outside of leaks. I guess there was a leak, and I did not look at it. I've only heard about it, and I don't even know what's on it. Have you seen anything about this leak, Ace, or no?
No, I've been just trying to stay away from leaks and just mainly
Same.
sticking to what Capcom posts. Although I sort of branched out into Capcom Japan or Sunbreak Japan page because they were posting those I don't know if you saw them because I shared them, the like ruby and platinum
Mm-hmm.
Sunbreak amiibo figures. So I shared those. Originally I thought they were on the Nintendo rewards shop, so I quick scrambled to get my phone open and go on there and dump 30 platinum points in, but that wasn't on there. So I went back to the tweet and I actually read it, and it was like, oh, it's like a retweet thingy. Okay, I'll try. It probably won't work, but I'll try.
Never hurts to try, I guess. You know. Yeah, I haven't been on Twitter too much in general, honestly. I've been so busy with work and stuff.
Well, in the last day or two, probably better not to be.
Oh, I guess where the leak's
I
pretty
mean,
strong.
no, not. I'm not talking about leaks. I'm talking about political stuff that is going on in uh, the U.S.
Oh,
Some people have referred to it as camping.
spawn camping?
No, just like camping has been made illegal. So, you know, if you like to go camp, it's a hard analogy to explain.
So they're using a metaphor to describe some political thing. I am completely unaware of any of what we're talking about.
Have you not seen the news at all?
No, I've been home with the kids the past 2 days. So,
Roe v. Wade has been overturned by the Supreme Court.
oh, yes, I did see. I thought we already had that issue. I thought that already happened.
No, it was a couple of months ago. It was like a memorandum leak, and it has come to fruition now. So
Oh, I thought we were already in the darkest timeline. Okay, so we just
no, no,
now
no,
are.
nope. And Justice Clarence Thomas wants to continue on with that and go after contraceptives, gay rights, and gay marriage next. So if you thought we couldn't dig deep enough, I guess we're going to go deeper.
Wow. Yeah, that's okay. No, yeah,
So,
I was aware of that. I have seen that. I just didn't. I thought it already had happened. Honestly.
I guess all I will say to not stoke the flames of unnecessary discourse at this time. Just look after the women in your life out there and treat them kindly because they could probably use it now more than ever.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've had some personal things going on too with my other grandmother.
Right.
Um, it is now 100% confirmed she is terminal and has about 2 months. So
Damn.
we've
I'm
been
sorry.
dealing with that. We figured out yesterday. So we're
Mm.
getting things in order. So yeah, it's a really depressing start to what I thought was going to be a fun episode, but hey,
Oh no, I'm so
we'll get
pumped
there.
for. Oh no, I've got like right brain, left brain on this, or like one. I can compartmentalize different things.
Sure. Yeah. No, I'm the same way. So obviously, like I said, we're gonna be talking about Sunbreak. We don't know any news about leaks and stuff, so we're not gonna be talking about any of that. We're just gonna be talking about what we know so far and what we're looking forward to, whatnot. I didn't play the demo too much. I beat Ostelos like 3 times, and I attempted. Uh, wow, now I can't. Malzeno. Now I had problems remembering the name Magnamalo, and I was like, why
Hmm.
can't I kept thinking Malzeno instead of Magnamalo, and now I was just like, hold on, it's not Magnamalo, it's Malzeno. Like I flipped them around once I
Hmm.
figured it out. But yeah, so Malzeno, you and I attempted twice, I think, and then I
Oh
attempted
yeah.
twice solo, and that's all I've really done. It's kind of weird playing so much Rise and then going into like this pre-build that is like, hey, you can't do what you would normally do. Like it's sort of like you don't get to customize your move set. So like I'm so used to my move set in Rise for Greatsword that I actually stumble quite a bit on the Malzeno fight because
Hmm.
I'm used to the push
Yeah.
block, but it has the counter attack instead of the jump, and I really use the jump a lot. Not even just offensively, just defensively. Like so.
Yeah. I mean, even just going back uh, to the rest of your event quest to finish up, and then playing the demo, it's definitely weird to be sort of shoehorned into
I'll build.
mechanics, a build that you don't necessarily use
Yeah.
with silkbind techniques that you don't normally use. Like as you know, as you saw, I've gotten back into Insect Clave, and I've been
Mm-hmm.
tearing up the skies with that and expressing my dominance over Elder Dragons and such.
Mm-hmm.
But it's harder to do that in the demo when you're
Yeah.
locked into a particular path.
Yeah. You had a really good wing break on Kushala on the one we failed. Um,
Hmm.
that was fun. He was flying in the air and he does the wing break and is like nah and falls down and we start beating on him. I forget why we failed that quest, but it was it was a couple attempts we had to do that one because it's a Camillus, a Kushala, and then a Teostra. But we did finish it eventually,
Yeah,
didn't we? I thought we did.
yeah, we did. I think the first time I was just playing a little bit loosey goosey, and I think you were still getting used to the one after another, and then they spawn on top of each other too.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't expecting that event quest to have them stacked. Like here, 10 minutes, the second one shows up, and whatever you're close to the end of the second, the third one
I,
shows
I
up.
don't think it. I think it's a damage threshold that they spawn in
Sure. Yeah,
because I
it
think
makes
it must
sense.
be like 20 to 25% health or something like that. Because like soloing it,
Yeah.
I think I got into like the last couple minutes of it. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will. This isn't about Sunbreak quite yet, but like before we get into it, what has been your sort of bucket list to get done with any games before you get into Sunbreak?
yeah,
Nothing. Nothing you want to
I've just
achieve.
been playing. I've just been playing around random stuff, and then I've been going back to actually within the last 2 days, I've been going back to Freedom Unite on my Vita. I just completed the I think the second urgent for Nico, the Monoblos and White Monoblos quest.
Yeah.
I had to do some farming though for Gypsaros heads, which were frustrating. They're like a 1% carve, and then
Yeah. They're
I got
a rare item when rare items were actually rare.
yeah, and then I had to do some collecting to build up nets so I could make pitfall traps, and then I was able to bust the head off of one of them on a quest, and finally got like 3 heads in the reward, which finally put me over to
It's
upgrade my
that's the way it goes.
sword
isn't
and
it?
shield.
You need one,
Yeah.
and then you get 4 or 3. And you're like, gosh darn it! Like,
Yeah. And then I was able to max out my poison battle axe.
that's a good
Previously,
one.
I'd been using a raw damage, and it just wasn't getting the job done. It was like within 15 minutes, White Monoblos was done, and then Monoblos fell pretty much the same amount of time thereafter. So
Okay.
wiped the floor with that quest once I upgraded that poison weapon. So I might go with poison weapons. We'll see.
Yeah, I like poison weapons. One of my favorite weapons in the whole series is the Chrome Razor, the poison greatsword.
Mm-hmm.
So I love poison on weapons. I don't blame you.
Yeah, I'm trying to stick to the sword and shield route in that playthrough of the game, which is arguably a lot more dangerous, especially when you get into some of the later monsters because of how they attack, and especially with the 2 fire dragons because of their flame aura. But I think poison will probably help with that a lot.
Yeah, because it takes away the aura, just like it does with Kushala. There's a couple things that I wanted to get done before we get into Sunbreak, and I actually already achieved both of them. So the first one was I wanted to get all the event quests done in Rise, and I did it.
Oh yeah.
So
that was technically when I got done too.
Yeah.
I was like, I might as well finish everything up.
So I managed I would say the hardest things were when I soloed the advanced Valstrax. That probably took about 15 attempts. That was pretty rough for a while there. I ended up the funny part is when you'll actually see on Twitter when I finally did it and achieved it, I came out with no feints. But like all the other times I was triple carding. So like the time I did it, I was like I never got killed. So which actually
that's sort of the thing.
I don't think is true. I think I had insurance and I fainted once and it doesn't show up on the amount of feints against the quest. So I think I did faint
that's the
once.
thing. You can sort of get stuck on like dry spells and then just have like a 1-hit hot streak and just finish it.
Right. So
that's one of the nice things about Monster Hunter is that like you could struggle on something for a while and then just like the next quest you could be completely on it and take care of it.
Yeah, I remember back in 4 Ultimate being stuck on there was a quest that was in the tower that was Silver Los and Gold Ian at the same time, and I was stuck on that for ages. I put the game down and then I picked it up. It was probably about 3 months later. I picked it up. First attempt did it after not playing for 3 months.
Nice.
So yeah, there's I don't even know what the context was for me picking it up again. Um,
Hmm.
4 Ultimate is one of the ones that I did everything I wanted to, but I never like it's weird. I beat the game, quote unquote, killed all the monsters, but I didn't do my goal of do every quest, like is my
Hmm.
normal thing. I would say the only games that I have fully achieved the 100% did everything I wanted to do in the series has been World, Iceborne, and Rise.
Hmm. Yeah, that's one that eventually I'll go back to and work on getting all the quests done. I've gone back to it a few times and just done like random quests, but then there's also the one that I want to find whoever it was out there that was hosting the a custom quest, I guess it was, where
Yeah.
you're in Gogmazios's arena and you're fighting a miniature Agnactor and miniature Eucanlos,
Hmm.
and then the rewards were like 16 million Zenny each, and I at the time when it happened, I was like, what?
Wow, that's a lot. Um, okay. The other thing I wanted to get done is finish the Starship Troopers game before Sunbreak came out, and I did finish it. I finished the campaign, which has 20. It's either 19 or 20 or 21 maps. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't show the final map on the list until you get there. So like I thought it was 20. I thought I counted 20 and then the 21. Um, so it's a really good game. I will say it right now because I keep because of our game of the year episode. I have started keeping a running ledger of game of the year and the
Mm-hmm.
rankings in the currently standing as they come up. And yeah, this thing jumped up to number 2 like immediately. Um Not my normal style of game being an RTS, but it is a PvE experience, which is something I enjoy in RTS versus I don't like fighting people. People are too good for me. um I'm not very good at RTSs, but it's got some awesome mechanics. It's got some awesome flavor. I mean, have you seen the Starship Troopers movies?
Uh,
Just
I've seen clips. I don't
okay.
think I've watched them all the way through.
Okay, that's got to be something on your list of things to watch. Is the first Starship
Hmm.
Troopers movie? It's 97, I think, 1997. Um,
Hmm.
a lot of satire about a lot of like modern America stuff, even just
Hmm.
like military fascism, uh, corporation like stuff. Um, the all the stuff, and it's completely done seriously, but there's satire to it the whole time. The game, exact same way. The like everything feels like the movie universe. Like it's just it's just so good. Like the flavor is so good. Like one of the
Yeah, you were mentioning quotes from it too.
do what?
Of like you were mentioning quotes from it too. Of like the
Yeah,
where it was like
the only good
you're
bug's
not
a
getting
dead bug.
reinforcements or whatever or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah. So one of the things that I felt was like just like chef's kiss that like, and this is not really a spoiler, but it's like the second to last map this happens. You're given like this you're given this like mech suit, right? Like they have these giant mechs, and this has always been in the Starship Troopers universe. They just don't appear in the first movie. Um,
Hmm.
and it's like, aren't those like the commander is like, aren't those only for show? They don't actually work. They're like, no, they still work. They're just not as good as our normal standard issue ones. But the Federation wants to see them in action, and they have live reporters. Like, so you have to escort this not as good unit who is has
Hmm.
a camera crew that is a unit following it that doesn't do any fighting. So you have to protect it. It does fight. It fights just as well, but it's got less defense. So like,
I was gonna say that's like almost grounds for the Iron Man 2 scene where they're at the like congressional hearing and they're showing like the footage of all the different countries trying to imitate the Iron Man suit, and they've got like the Hammer Tech one that like just twists around
mm-hmm.
and allegedly like paralyzes a pilot or something like that. I was like, oh, could it be something like that? But that's cool that it actually like functions and serves a purpose.
Well, it's just funny because they're like the Federation is shoving this thing like onto the battlefield and saying we're going to show the public that we're winning, and it's like, yeah, this is like actually super dangerous. Please don't do this. Like,
Yeah.
well, so like I almost lost the camera crew because like they started there's this unit called a Scorpion Bug, and it looks like a scorpion essentially. It just doesn't have pinchers. So like imagine a scorpion with no claws, just legs and a tail. And the tail just shoots a plasma beam and it hit the camera crew, and I was like, "Oh no, they're dead. Holy cow." And like of the 3 camera people, 1 survived. I was like, "Okay, I guess he's fine." So I had like everyone like immediately fire on the Scorpion Bug so he didn't do it again. And I was just like, "Oh my gosh, like how many people am I going to lose trying to keep this camera crew alive?" Like,
See, no, that's just sort of reminding me now of the Cell games with the camera crew that was recording for like Hercule and stuff.
yeah, it's kind of like that where it's all just a show, but it's like, no, this is serious. Get out of here. Like this is really dangerous. Like oh man. And that's the thing is like the Federation is just, it's not like it's political. It's a political thing that they drop those things down there, and the people on the ground are like, "You're idiots! Please no!" Like, oh, it's so good. And I even did the extra missions. I actually finished one of the extra missions today. And that one was interesting too. It's like they had a bunch of civilians hold up. You don't get any reinforcements. You're given a certain amount of units, and that's it. And they don't get healed, nothing. So you have to do it like perfectly. Granted, it's some of the strongest units in the game. I ended up having, you can potentially get 3 of the giant mech suits. I only got 2, but because you have to capture a certain point to get the 3rd one. But I was like, this is too far in enemy territory. I'm not getting the 3rd one. This ain't happening. So yeah, it was really good. So that's mostly what I wanted to get done. I'm playing a new game, Dungeons of Eredor. It just came out not that long ago. It's like D&D-esque thing. It's not super, I don't know. I just started it. But all of that to lead up to Sunbreak, because Sunbreak is going to take up most of our gaming time, most likely. I don't see you playing a lot of Freemium Night when you have Sunbreak to do.
We'll see. Sometimes I like the older challenge. I was kind of getting very frustrated while farming Gypceros and then also subsequent fights with Monoblos and White Monoblos, because like there were definitely a couple, I would say, egregious delayed hits where like we all know that Gypceros does like the fake out like death and then like flails and flops and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there have been a few times where like I wait and he finishes up and stands still and I run at him and it hits me. And then there have been a few times what was it? I want to say it was like a tail slap from Monoblos where
he does the spin.
Like yeah, or no, actually oh, I remember now and I hated the super delayed hit that comes when it does the run and then slide.
Oh, sure.
Where
yeah.
like
where it's sliding.
I dodge it running, so it slides. I run up to it, and it literally has stopped sliding, and it clipped me. and still acted as if I had like gone under its slide and gotten hit.
Yep.
And I'm like,
Yep.
are you serious right now? And now
See,
half my health is gone.
this is why I don't normally suggest going back to the older games, because mechanics are just not as good as they are now.
It's more or less just a frustrating walk down memory lane.
I guess. So,
It'll certainly be fun when I get to G rank Plesioth, let me tell you.
right. Yeah, the hip check for days. So
not even that. The tail spins on that are egregious from my memory. So
yeah,
like
they're pretty bad. they're the tail. Yeah, I always felt the spins were worse than the hip check, because the hip check,
Like,
you just have to accept you're going to get hit if you're using something like the hammer. If you're directly underneath it, like you have to be near the head. Like you just like have to be on the edge of the hit zone and get out. There's nothing you can do if you're beneath it. Like you're just done.
well, with G rank, it's a completely different story because I don't think with most weapons, save for like gun and maybe longsword, can you even reach the head because it's just so tall. So you have to just bat at the legs the whole time.
You can. What you do is you bait a spray where it does the straight spray. There's a certain distance in which it'll prefer to do that to you.
Oh yeah.
So you run in and you hit its head while it's doing that, and its head is lowered when it's doing that. So for the hammer, you would just do that, and I would knock it out, and I go and break the other parts while it was flopping around, knocked out. Mm-hmm. So Plesioth was never a super challenge for me in the hammer days, but because 3 Ultimate I was still playing hammer too, up until recently with you. I did Great Sword, but
I'll probably just end up going with like a Kirin sword or something and just tear it apart.
Yeah, Elemental works really well on it. Same with Gravius. So with Sunbreak coming, we know about like what 13 monsters so far, that are in the base game, right? That just like before we get Lucent. So we got both crabs, right? We got Espinas, we got Lunagaron.
I don't got crabs.
Huh?
I don't got crabs. I don't know about you, but I don't got crabs.
Oh, come on. Garen Golem, Malzeno, and then we got Ocelos. Crap. I'm running
Explosive Bishaton.
Explosive Bishaton. Explosive Rachna. We've got Aurora.
Somnicanth.
Somnicanth. And then we got Magna, Almudron. So that's 11. And I don't know. We got a lot. We got a lot coming. And so of all of the thing, what are you most excited to fight first? Obviously, we're not going to get to some of these right away, but
probably, well, for the first time, not necessarily first, but I'm definitely excited for Espinas.
Same here.
Since it was a Frontier monster, and as we all know, Frontier shut down, so like that locked the door to a lot of those. So that, along with Lucent Nargacuga and the Tower being back, both of those being a thing, open the door to a lot of other monsters making entries into the series and returning to the series. So, I mean, both you and I are.
That's not till DLC. Lucent is until our first thing of DLC, but
I know, but I'm saying it opens the door for future.
Mm-hmm.
I know both you and I are hopeful for Akurabashima.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I always want more bugs, so it'd be interesting to see if they'd bring that back and what they'd do with him. Don't know much other Frontier monsters. I know they had like a duo wolf thing, but I mean that's sort of being taken place by what is it, Lunagaron?
Yeah.
Which Lunagaron's got some really, really interesting fight mechanics. I don't know if you've seen, but
I've
he
seen
can like
some.
walk on two legs and
Yeah,
stuff like that and
very
flash
much
out. So
taking the werewolf approach where he's humanoidish on two legs. Yeah.
mhm.
Um. I'm quite excited. I think Espinus is the thing I'm looking forward to fighting the most, even though it is an quote unquote old monster that I talk about a lot of us reusing. But like, dude, I've been waiting to fight Espinus for how long? Like, I've known about him since his launch, right? Back in
Mhm.
Frontier 2.0, which I'm not really sure of the year, but let's say probably at latest 2009, 2010. I know I've had that
Mhm.
desktop wallpaper since 2010. Like,
Yeah.
I that was my wallpaper at one of my jobs, period. Like I worked there 3 years. That was my wallpaper. Like
Mhm.
um the, seeing Espinus was like such a hype moment for me. And of course, like all the personal stuff that I'm dealing with grandma and some other stuff that's been going on, all kind of happened like right then. Like
Mhm.
as this all this news is coming up with the Diablo 4 we talked about last week, and then the news drop for Monster Hunter that we were so excited about that we had to accost Sasha with it last week. Like I was really hyped for it, but like Espinus is like over the moon. I never thought we would get this. Like this is quite amazing for me. I am interested to see how different that the new Rachna Kadaki is, because Rachna is already a fire element, so making it a blast isn't really that different. It's like they're this
Mhm.
like the most closely related status and elemental. You know what I mean? Like they're so close
Mhm.
that some monsters do both. Like Teostra traditionally. I don't think Teostra still doesn't do any blast in Rise. Maybe there's some, but
I'm sure we'll probably get it back in because I don't think it afflicts you with blast blight.
no.
So possibly with master rank they'll
Right.
introduce that being a mechanic with its dust clouds.
I'm just
Um,
I'm just interested to see how Rachna Blaster Rachna does differently, because I do you do see the blast going down the string, down the wire.
mhm.
So I wonder if there's a mechanic where how like I showed people you can she throws out the bug, the wire comes and she pulls herself to it and you can cut the wire and she trips. I wonder
Mhm.
if you cut the wire, it goes back up the line and hits her. Like I wonder if there's the same kind of mechanic. Um,
Possibly.
I hope so. I hope there's that goofing around mechanic with her, because I love cutting the wire.
Yeah.
It's so fun. Um, I didn't get to fight her too much. There's only like one event quest or maybe two that I had to fight her, um, that hadn't already done. So, and I cleared 3 pages of event quests the past 2 weeks. So,
Mhm. Yeah. I wonder with the similar to cutting the thread. I wonder with the new Bishaton if when you trip him up, if he's just gonna drop explosive pine cones all over the place, and then you can just throw them like bombs.
yeah. Or if it just like drops them to explode, like it just becomes a
Yeah,
hazard when you trip them.
true.
Like I'm
But
wondering, they
we'll
could
have
go
to see.
either way with that one.
Hmm.
I guess you could say
Or
the
they,
same thing about Rocknut too. It's like you try to cut it and it blows up on you.
or it'd be nefarious if they did it like if you pick it up by mistake, then it blows up. Sort of like a time triggered or a touch sensitive basil goose pod. You know,
Yeah.
that'd be kind of funny and interesting. Would definitely catch me off guard at first.
Yeah. I almost kind of wonder if it's like, because you remember there used to be the baby kazoos, the kazoo whelps that you would pick up and
Mm,
they'd eat your health if they're in your inventory. It's just like if you have this
mm,
item in your inventory, you're going to explode in X amount of seconds.
yeah, or like the hot powder stones
Hmm.
in volcanic maps and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see where we go with some of those. Aurora Somnicanth, I'm excited to fight it, but I don't really see anything super unique coming out of that one. Just replace everything with frost instead of sleep. Like, and okay. And then same with Magma Almudron. Like I don't, that feels like okay, it's an Almudron with fire. It's not really going to be that different.
Yeah, I would have wanted my magma um, Yeti bear. What's the Yeti bear? Why am I blanking on it?
I keep wanting to say
Um,
Garen Golem. It's the new one. Um, Goodness gracious, you're right. What is it? Bear makes ice. Oh crap. Gossarog.
Gossarog. I would have wanted a magma Gossarog that like takes magma and sluices it onto its arms and just makes like sickle blades out of that,
We
and just
could
has obsidian blades. But
we could still see a subspecies. I hope they didn't reveal everything because I mean
mhm,
it feels like if we just had 11 monsters, it feels like for a massive expansion that'd be kind of small. Like you know what I mean?
yeah. Um, I will say I hope with having the jungle back we get to see a certain fecal throwing monkey, despite how
Kingala.
some people dislike him. I think it's still a fun one.
Yeah,
Uh,
I it'd be nice to see Kingala. I'd like to see other primates come back. Period.
yeah,
I'd be more
I
excited for
miss.
something like Blangonga, honestly.
Yeah, I definitely miss Blanganga and the Blango packs as well.
Right. And it's kind of weird. A lot of people label Tigrex as that sort of freedom to um, flagship, but on some of the cover arts and even the intro,
Hmm.
Blangonga could be considered the flagship, but he's just not there. Like I'm pretty sure that the original Japanese cover art had a Blangonga on it, not a Tigrex. I'm almost
Hmm.
positive on that. I could be wrong.
I mean, even in like the trailer for Freedom 2, you have the greatsword user like fighting Blanganga and pushing against it,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of the crew coming in against it. And then, I mean, the Freedom Unite cinematic is also great with the chase through the snowy caves
Mm-hmm.
with the Tigrex, and then you flash bomb it, and then burst through the snow and tumble down the mountain
It's actually
as your
the
comrades
intro. That's the
come to
intro to
assist you.
Freedom 2.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, oh yeah, I'm getting them mixed up.
Yeah, Freedom
Yeah, that's right.
Unite is just Monster Hunter.
Freedom Unite has, yeah, Freedom Unite has like the progression of the hunter.
Yeah.
Not that I remember.
Yep.
I don't know. I haven't watched the intros in a long time.
Nah, they're pretty old. They're pretty old games. Like pretty sure it's like 2006 for Freedom 2, 2007 maybe. Like
Mm.
I was just out of high school, I think, when that came out. Um, yeah, so it's been a while. Um, yeah, I there's so many things to look forward to in Sunbreak that like I talked about several times. I was in sort of that gaming rut. Unfortunately, I found a bunch of things just before Sunbreak comes out that I've been wanting to play. Um,
Mm.
but we have the funny thing is though I have this is weird because like I was so hyped about the Rise demo and beating Magdamalo, and I kind of had the same feeling with the World demo and beating Nergigante, right? Like I was just like I'm going to do it, and I did it. But I have the exact same reaction that I did with the Iceborne demo as I do with the Sunbreak demo. Is like I just don't care. I'm already sold on the game. Like I don't really need to put myself through this to
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
it feels like zero because I feel like it doesn't it honestly nothing matters in it because I don't need to try it out. I'm going to buy the game regardless. And then
Well,
also
I think it mainly stems from the fact that you're already an established hunter, and you're just waiting for the progression of the story and the ascension to the next rank. So
right, there's
there's
no
less of like a necessity to try out and see what you can achieve. I
Right.
guess
And there's
other
the
than bragging
zero sense
rights.
of progression. Like I own nothing that happens here. Nothing here matters. It's like an alternate dimension where none of my carves matter and none of my gear matters, and like it's just like I don't.
Yeah, because
I,
I mean,
I have no
you get
incentive.
the starter pack that they hand out just for having a save status. It's not tied to whether you can complete the demo quests or not. So
Right. Whereas Rise they did have based on completion.
did they?
Yeah. Based on which quests you completed, you got different starter packs.
Huh.
At least I remember it that way. I mean, it's a year ago though, so who knows? Maybe I got it wrong. Um, and it's also weird because like Rise, if you remember, I got the PS5 like 2 weeks before Rise came out, so I was trying about to finish all these games before Rise came out, and I didn't even get through all of them. And then this time I was like, well, what am I going to do now? And then, I ended up playing a lot of
Well,
PC stuff.
that's sort of the boat that I'm in now because I got I subscribed to the premium tier for the new PlayStation Plus subscription. So now
Yeah,
I've got like literally hundreds of games at my feet that I can dip into. Um, I just re-examined it and found that the Quarry, the new game by the company that or the studio that made Until Dawn, that one's free and included. So
hmm.
uh, I may or may not dip into that before Sunbreak, but I mean we've got like basically 5 days from this point until it's out. So
Yeah,
who knows
yeah.
if I'll really do that just because, yeah,
For
I want to
listeners, we
start a
record.
game just to put it on pause for several months.
Yeah, for listeners, we record on Saturdays. It comes out Thursday, so like we're yeah, 4 or 5 days, 5 6 days away. Not six,
Yeah.
5.
And I also pre-ordered the collector's edition online with GameStop, so we'll see if it arrives on time. I've seen some reviews for collector's edition saying that it doesn't arrive on time, so who
I
knows?
just
I might end up
I pre-ordered
caving in.
via the eShop as a downloadable thing. So
Mm,
I actually got an update in Rise. It says your pre-release content is ready to go until it releases. I was playing I was playing something on the Switch and that notification popped up. I think I was playing
mm.
Pokemon Snap. And it's like, hey, your content is downloaded and is ready to play upon release. And I was like, oh, so Sunbreak's already on my Switch. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we'll see if uh if it doesn't arrive on launch day and the ETA window is too egregious for me, like 2 or 3 days, I might double dip and just get the digital version.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
you remember I got the special edition that just didn't come in. Like the store just didn't
Yeah.
get it, and I ended up going home and buying it and downloading it, playing it then. Uh,
Hmm.
and I just bought it digitally, and it's the only reason why I have Rise digitally. Actually, I've been wanting to buy a physical version of the game just so I have one because I don't have one yet. And I don't think there's a lot of physical versions, if any, coming out for Sunbreak. Because I think what you're getting with the bundle stuff that they've been talking about is you get a Rise cartridge, and you get a Sunbreak download code, as I think is the way that those things go. So I'm not sure what the GameStop one you're getting. I just what I got the impression looking at the
Comes
generic
with
one.
a steelbook, the Malzeno amiibo, the
Mm-hmm.
ship looking pin, some sneakers, uh, and like I think the deluxe content, which is usually armor and emotes and whatnot.
I don't remember which version I got. I think I just got the $40 one, which is just the base.
it was funny too because originally I had uh, Rise pre-ordered through. I had the collector's edition of Rise pre-ordered through GameStop, but then I specifically canceled it because Best Buy offered the Steelbook,
Hmm.
and now it's the other way around. So kind
Yeah.
of interesting that things have flipped this time.
Mm. I mean, we
But
haven't.
then again, GameStop also had exclusive sales rights to the Amiibos, and they have it now again with Sunbreak too. It looks like so.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't care about the amiibos. I've seen the amiibos several times. Palamides, the Palicos. Um, I just I didn't get the special edition of Rise to get the Magnamalo amiibo. I didn't care, so I ended up not getting it.
I mean, I think my GameStop has one or two.
I don't
I
really
could
want them.
always get you one.
I don't really care. I don't like I don't collect a lot of I don't collect a lot of figurines. Like I've got the you've seen me mess around with a few things, and I've got this one here from the World one, but you know, like they're nice to have, but I don't actively go out and try to find them ever. So
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I've bought like a handful of
you got your
figure builder
Fatalis
ones
coming.
from all. Yeah, at some point, allegedly. I checked in this week and they didn't have it. Allegedly, they'll give me a call when it comes in. But I was retelling my Kushala story where when one of my friends were still working there, it was eventually to the point where I was like, "Are you able to like reach out to them to find out what's going on?" Because
Mm-hmm.
it's been like a month since it released, and so then they sent like an email out to get like the first one as soon as it arrived to the warehouse, the distro center.
Hmm.
So allegedly, it was supposed to come either this week or this next coming week. So I could be over encumbered with Monster Hunter stuff or just
Well,
just satiated enough.
for me, you know, I talked about a little bit about the Flesh and Blood card game that I've been into and
Mm-hmm.
running a league for and stuff. And I don't talk about it too much with you or the Discord because you guys aren't into trading card games as much. But sometimes you've talked about Magic before.
Mm-hmm.
But with Flesh and Blood, they have a brand new set coming out, and it was delayed from this Friday to next Friday. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I've already told the store that I'm getting 2 cases. So,
All right.
I'm spending a lot of money coming up Friday.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy MTG and Pokemon, but like for me, I had to step away at
Sure.
several different points whenever I was interested because for me it's like too closely to like the gambling thing where I get like the excitement of like opening up a rare card and then the the desire hits to get
Do it
like
again.
another couple packs and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and that's just not like financially responsible
Yeah.
for me.
So here's the thing. Chance has a lot of disposable income, right? So
Yeah.
Chance is super into Magic, and he'll be like, do I buy how like?" And when people are like, "How many boxes you plan on buying?" and his usual answer to people is like, "You mean how many cases am I buying? Not how many pallets am I buying of Magic?" No, he's cut back quite a bit lately, but he has the
Mhm.
same thing where he's like, "I just like opening packs," and I make fun of him for rating how good the box is based on the amount of dollars he gets out of it, like
Yeah.
on rare cards.
I mean, I enjoy opening packs too, but like
It's
if
expensive.
I can't do it for free, it's super expensive and I can't justify it. Like if it's like a collector's edition of a game that I'm really into, like that I can justify to myself because it's something that I want that I'll get
Mhm.
continued use out of. Whereas like
Also,
I don't
you're
really play
getting
Magic with
a
anymore
guaranteed
or Pokemon.
value ish, not a guaranteed value, but you're getting a set value out of it, right? You're
Or
not
well,
as
I'd say
much
more of like
gambling,
I would say it's more of like a guaranteed personal value
right?
because like you know there's people out there who love like the Fallout series and stuff like that and would get like the Power Armor edition, no questions asked, and like would never sell that, and others would like just buy that to hold on to it and then sell it down the road for a marked up price.
Yep.
Like it varies from person to person.
Well,
For
I'm
me,
just
like
saying, you know what you're getting when you buy a special edition game. When you buy a box of cards, you have no idea what you're getting. Like
mm,
you can have a clue, you can have a hope, you can have want, like, but you're not. It's all a gamble. That's why I've pretty much told myself whenever a new set of Flesh and Blood comes out, I'm either buying a case or two cases, and that's it. And I
mm,
when I say case, this doesn't mean one box; it's four boxes. So it's a lot of boxes, but it's also cheaper than Magic by a lot.
yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, with Magic, I only ever bought one box,
mm-hmm.
like ever in my entire time when I was super into Magic,
Same here.
and
I
I
only
didn't
ever bought
really,
one box of Magic, and it was a terrible box. I only had
yeah, I
three
didn't,
mythics.
yeah, it didn't really have the cards that I was looking for out of the set. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. And then you get into like when they start doing new editions
Alternate
or
art,
re-releases of like,
super special.
well,
Yeah,
I was gonna say like Modern Masters where they release all the
yeah.
like super crazy cards and shit like that, where you can get like a pack that's worth like $300 or more.
Mm-hmm. It's true. But also, it's like $600 for a box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so not justifiable.
No, no. Actually, Chauncey's that's one of the things he's cutting back. There's a double masters that's coming out soon, and he's just like, well, you look at the value and it's just not there, right? Like he's just like it's too
Yeah.
expensive for the value. So he's actually been cutting back quite a bit on Magic. I've been the high spender on Flesh and Blood, but I'm a lot more invested in Flesh and Blood than he is because I build everything. I build every hero. I build every deck. Like I have them all,
Mm,
and that's why I'm getting two cases because I really like this new set coming out. But it's funny that it got pushed back to the day after Sunbreak. So like the funny thing is for me, like I'm super more into video games than I am into cards. And Flesh and Blood is literally the first card game I've been really into. So people like some people that I'm talking to with Flesh and Blood, they're like, so Fort, what are you super excited for? And I'm like, honestly, Sunbreak, because I may forget about my boxes at the game store Friday because I'm so excited for Sunbreak. Like I like it. It's disappointing to me that the card set got pushed back a week because I would have been opening these things yesterday and not have them interfere with Sunbreak. But now I'll have to be like, is it worth it taking a break when I can play more Monster Hunter just to open cards? Or am I
yeah.
going to go hard into Monster Hunter right away? So we'll see. We'll definitely see because it's a lot to open if you're opening 8 boxes. So that's a
Hmm.
lot of time. So I'm not sure that I'm gonna do that all at once. Even I might just be like, hey, I'm not gonna open these right away because I'm playing Sunbreak and I'm gonna get to Espinus and fight Espinus and wear it
Hmm.
and see its
Yeah.
weapons because poison or fire or both. That'd be awesome if they were dual element weapons. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. I mean, they've had dual element dual blades, so I
Yeah.
mean,
Have you seen the fireball? The infamous triple status fireball from
no.
Espinus. There's a link out there and they actually was by Monster Hunter. They showed a clip of it. If you get hit by Espinus's fire, but one of his fireballs, it does fire blight, obviously, right? paralysis,
hmm
and poison. All three in one.
Nice.
So, yeah, he's gonna be a master rank monster. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see.
So,
See, I feel
can
like
you imagine if they'd released him like with Rise, and like new hunters had to experience that for the first time without like having any experience other than coming into Rise and then
yeah, no doubt.
fight him in high rank?
That's
That would have been
insane. Like two status effects on you at once is kind of rough. Getting three simultaneously from one attack, that I've never heard of this in mainline Monster Hunter. Like,
yeah, and it'll obviously with Seragios we're getting bleed back, so I
mm-hmm.
wonder if they're going to have that as an aspect with Nargacuga's quills again. And then I wonder, since you know Espinus is like the thorn monster, if they're going to have
Yeah,
that
the Wyvern of
be
Thorns is
being included.
one of his titles. The Wyvern of Thorns. Yeah, I just
Yeah, it would make sense to me to have a bleed effect on there too, with certain physical attacks, or like a stacking up of physical attacks from him.
what are the chances that we get Nergigante?
I don't know.
I feel like he's like a sneak entry, kind of like how I guess Basil Goose was the one monster that wasn't spoiled for us because it was an invasion monster.
hmm
So,
Yeah,
and I'm
it'd be
surprised.
interesting if we got Nergigante.
Yeah, I'm also surprised we haven't seen anything about Devil Joe. I kind of thought we'd see Devil Joe. We still don't have him.
Well, maybe that's gonna be the invader monster.
Maybe get to see that awesome turf war between him and Boozle Goose again.
Let's let's just have him dig out of the ground like in the original days when he first debuted, and what try?
Just out of the ground. I told you about that where I've told you about that story where my friends had never seen it and I led them on a Kurapeko quest. Just and they're screaming like girls. They're like, "Ah, what is that?" I'm like, "Oh, I forgot about Devil Joe." Welcome. Welcome to Monster Hunter Hell. Oh man. I think he was still in low rank gear when that happened too. I think it was literally the first quest he did in high rank. Like, oh
Nice.
man, I love that. What I hope we get back, and I don't think we're going to get back, is the getting dropped in a random location on the map. We lost that with Rise. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess we will. Maybe we'll get that back.
It's kind of moot. It's kind of moot because you can just fly back, right? You could just hold and select and go back to
Yeah.
the camp. But like, I don't know. I'd kind of like to see like stormy weather conditions. You can't fast travel. Like, that would actually maybe overvalue the Palamute. But,
Well, it'd be fun if like you go on a Espinus quest and you spawn on the same right in the same area right away.
Well, Espinus always starts sleeping as one of his things. He's very
Yeah.
docile.
Yeah, I forgot that because I mean I've never fought it before or
Same here.
experienced. So.
I mean, I've never either. I know a lot about him because I did a lot of research about him back in the day, and I was super hopeful. It was like this is touching on the little Fortuan that wanted more Monster Hunter, but we weren't getting it in the United States. Feelings like this is tapping in on that like the FOMO, right? The Monster Hunter FOMO that non-Japanese players had with several games and several monsters.
Right.
So that's what makes me so hopeful for something like Akura Vishima. There's like a giant turtle too that's a monster that would be really cool to see.
hmm
I'd like to see.
Well, I was gonna say, do you think because we're going back to sort of a westerny castle feel,
Mm-hmm.
do you think we're going to see Fatalis as the endgame monster?
No, I don't think so. Honestly, I don't. I think we're going to see a break from Fatalis in this one because I don't think he's going to do well with wire bugs.
I mean, they changed him up a lot with Iceborne, and
Not. I mean,
he,
yes, in a
he
way, but he was much more of a spectacle fight, which we'd seen a lot in Iceborne.
mm,
Like we saw that with Safi, we saw that with Alatreon already. Like those sort of like high end spectacle fights were not like new, right? Like those big raid
well,
attacks.
I mean, like they gave his neck a lot more maneuverability, so I think it and
Somewhat.
other monsters with the game too. They have counters to dealing with people in the air. So I mean, I think it's a possibility that if they do include him,
Oh, I mean, if they
he could
do, he
potentially still wreak havoc.
if they do, he still will be redone. But I'm saying they've just redone him for World. I don't think we're gonna see either Elatron or Fatalis, honestly. I think if we're gonna get like a surprise like big boss monster that's redone, um yeah, I can't even really maybe this is just a maybe Narcarcos. Because Narcarcos being sort of like that eldritch horror kind of deal really fits a Western mentality versus Japanese. You know what I mean?
That'd be interesting.
That's about the only one I could really see coming back that's along those lines. Um, I'd like to say Shenge Orin. I just don't see that happening. Um,
Could you imagine doing that now with the wire bugs and just like getting on top of its shell
yeah,
and
yeah.
just hammering away at it there?
It'd have to have some
That'd be fun.
new things to deal with you, because yeah, because it couldn't just stomp around.
I mean, that's basically what it did
Well,
in the original. Anyways, it didn't really like Lao Shan. It didn't really pay that much attention to you
yeah, it did
because like
somewhat. It did. It swiped at you with its claws every once in a while, and then if you weren't paying attention on the wall, it would beam you. It would do that giant laser beam out of the Leoshed mouth. Like,
but that was always aimed at like the wall, and the same with the
sure,
claw swipes because the claw swipes are just like straight down. It doesn't really pay attention to you. Like it'll do like damage to you with like stepping, but it doesn't really like lash out at you like Shogun Centaur or
no,
Daimyo.
no, no.
Daimyo,
It's
whatever it's
never
called.
that direct, but none of the siege monsters are. But I think we
Mm.
got rid of siege monsters with the Rampage. I think the Rampage is the siege monster. It comes with the same progression of the game as those do. Like it's the Rampage is
Yeah, and
completely succeeded siege monsters.
they said that they are. Sorry.
It's all
Ugh.
good. I've been yawning several times
Stepping
too.
away, stepping away from Rampage with Sunbreak. So we'll see what they if they introduce anything new, mechanic wise or play style wise.
Yeah, that's interesting because like the Rampage was such a big thing with Rise, and I guess it's just not with Sunbreak. I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if it's due to like complaints or whatnot. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, but other people
Dude, Emery
just thought it
loves
was
them.
tedious and annoying.
Like Emery is like,
Right.
let's do a rampage. I'm like, yeah, because like Emery gets to shoot a bunch of monsters with a cannon. That's what like she does like those. She wants to do those. So we actually did this not today but yesterday, where we did like Emery gets to pick a quest, Cece gets to pick a quest, and then Daddy gets to pick a quest. So like Emery was like, rampage. I'm gonna do another rampage because they just got to HR2, which is a rampage urgent, and um so like, okay, let's do this. And then CC always wants to do the Sonic Rings event quest, just go collect the rings. And then
Uh huh.
I have been picking a progression quest to progress them. So
That's fair enough. I like
so
that.
so that's kind of what we've been doing when we play, but we'll see because I'm not it's past their bedtime, so we'll probably not play tonight. But and I got to take them home tomorrow. But they're very hyped. They wanted to get Sunbreak, but I told them unless they were in high rank, it doesn't matter. And if they have to. Basically, I told them if they beat Narwa, like if we get to the point where they could beat Narwa, then I'll get Sunbreak for them because it's useless until then. Like they can't even access any of the content. So we're still in low
Yeah.
rank.
We'll have to Jedi Master to their Padawan.
I mean, I try, but like Emery, she doesn't even know. She doesn't have the wherewithal to heal herself. So,
Uh,
like, she'd be like, "Oh no, I'm gonna die! Get the monster off of me! Distracted!" I'm like, I like it. Just attacks who it wants to attack, kid. Like, I can't. I have no control. I'm wailing on it. You know, like I don't cut back for them. I do full power against these low rank monsters, just to keep them safe as possible. But like, sometimes it just swings the right way and clips them. And now we did stuff
yeah.
like we farmed up Almadron armor for both of them, so they're both in full Almadron, so they don't take a ton of damage right now, anyways. But like, yeah, they're not getting Sunbreak right away. If they do, it's down the road because I want them to get that
Right.
far. Now, for do you think we're gonna get Master rank again, or we're gonna stick with high rank? Hunter rank, I mean.
What do you mean?
Because Iceborne, we got a Master rank. We got an MR.
I'm pretty sure. Do you mean G rank or?
No, not
Master
the rank of quests. The actual like your hunter rank, your number.
Oh, I think we're probably going to be getting the Hunter rank and the Master rank as a separate thing again.
I hope not. That's so clunky. I really hope not. Oh boy. I didn't like it in Iceborne. Like eventually, I ended like some 300 something MR and like 600 something HR, but you know, like I just I don't know. Like it sucks for people who like for G rank who like G rank Curry Pecco who purposely get to 999, right? And then like Master rank comes around and they're like, well, I'm already 999, so whatever. But I get where Master rank helps with that, but like it I don't know. It's such a it feels like such a slog to sort of quote unquote start all over again on your rank, right? Because like,
yeah, I mean they've said that they're doing the G rank naming of it though, so we are in Master rank.
well, I know that. Yeah, the naming is Master rank. I was just more concerned about the MR level, right? Like MR 1 through 99. So we'll see when that comes.
Right. So of the Forlorn Tower roster, what do you think we are most likely to see come through either, well, because it's going to be DLC. What do you think we're going to be most likely to see come through DLC in addition to the not Silverwind, the
Lucent.
blah 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 Lucent Nargacuga?
I think we're gonna see the Metal Rats. I think they're a shoe in for the tower. They're always in the tower. It's just them. It's what they do.
Yeah. I'm very loosely hoping for Yamatsukami, and then I think Molten Tigrex would be a strong possibility as well.
Molten Tigrex, I could see. I'm a little shaky on Yama, because Yama, he has a different arena in the tower. He has a different because it's a circle around him, and we haven't seen what that is. We haven't seen what this is, but like, it's different. It's just straight up different. It's the same map, but it's a different arena. I don't know. Like I don't. I'm very iffy on Yama because of that.
Fair enough.
The doors are wide open on possibilities because of Espinus.
Yeah. I wonder how they're going to um, interpret it as well, the map itself, because as you know, we have like the whole run up to it, and then it goes up several flights, and then there's always like that sort of through. There's like one or two through areas.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then on one of those areas where they usually had uh, raptors back in the day, that's usually the jumping off point for like the Wrath Arena, at least lately.
Mm-hmm. Well, in 4
So,
Ultimate, if I remember correctly, and Generations Ultimate, both of them you just go to a prep room and an arena. Period. Boom. No
yeah, because like,
traversal.
well, because like with those ones, that prep area is like one of those stop off areas
Yeah.
off of the original map. So it'll be interesting to see how they design the map
Mm-hmm.
and if it's going to have those same areas, because some of the some of the areas that the map has could indicate what they're going to could hint at what they're going to bring in, because
Right.
if it has that huge round area, that could be a pretty strong indicator that Yamatsukami is going to be coming in. Otherwise, if it just has the spiral staircase that leads to the very top, that could just indicate that we're going to be seeing other monsters.
You know what they could do, because the tower is pretty large, right? They could do a remake of Delameter, where it's wrapped around
True,
the tower.
true. That'd be interesting. I wonder, since like as you mentioned, and since this is so big, I wonder if they'll they'll probably have the great wire bugs to easily traverse to the top.
Probably. I'm
So,
excited. I'm excited to do some more sword hunting, like the
mhm.
secret swords, because we've got 2 maps to do that in: the jungle and um,
Yeah,
the citadel.
and the and I did like a full like quest length of just exploring, not even going after Astalos, and that original temple that they have on the island that gets like washed up with the tide or
Mm-hmm.
covered over with the tide. Um, there's like a whole underground area too now
Hmm.
that ties in. It ties in with the where is it? I want to say it's the Rathian Den area
So
on the map.
on the west side.
Yeah, it has a path that leads up to that or down, depending on which way you're going.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I did not explore that. I just fought Ostelos a couple times, and that was it.
and I still have to find it, but there's a certain great wire bug that will sling you off to like a it like a separate tiny little island too. So there probably be like a sword on that island too in the full game. If it's swords, who knows? They could do something else like armor
Sure.
pieces.
Or in the jungle's case, like messages in a bottle.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool if they changed it.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to do that kind of stuff again. I'm excited to do Monster Hunter Snap again, where I take pictures with all the
Mhm.
monsters and put them in the logbook. Um,
Yeah, I still have to I still have to complete that.
I did that a long time ago. Like that was one of my big things that I did right away. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, with every monster coming out like that day, I'd get a picture of it. Um, I don't know. I like the photography aspect of that. If we get the rare endemic life to photograph too, like I'd like to see what those are. Um, what if it's a Kanju for the jungle? Like that's or Shakalaka even like a throwback to sort of
Mm.
second gen stuff.
Before you hate them,
I hate King
now you
Shaka.
want them back.
I hate King Shakalaka. as a monster. I really don't care that much for Shakalakas in general. Like I don't, they're meh. It's King
Mm.
Shakalaka that I despise. Um, and I really don't care for Cha Cha or Kayamba. The guy I know that's some people's like favorite companions,
Mm.
but like the cats to me are the iconic Monster Hunter companion, not the Shakalakas. Sorry, folks.
Mhm.
Like it's just
Blasphemy.
you
You will
guys.
be communicated from the community.
I am the Monster Hunter boomer, and I like my cats. Like I love the Palamute. I use the Palamute, but I when I'm running, you know, solo, it's always a Palamute and a cat.
Mm.
It's never just dogs because you gotta have the cats. Like the cats are the most amazing things. Just the dogs are pretty good too for traversal. They're just utility very good. Um,
Yeah.
and the cats, I love having a healing cat, and I always have a healing cat. Like that's my thing. Is
Mm.
I'm lazy, I get hit, and I need healed, and it helps.
Mm.
It also helps that my cat has anti-status effect stuff too. So like if I get poisoned or something, it's like, hey, hit me up, cat, or Dragon Blight. Like Dragon Blight was the one I used against a lot in against the Valstrax that I the Crimson
Mm.
Glow Valstrax advanced quest. The cat saved me a lot on Dragon Blight if I got Dragon Blighted.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm excited to just explore the maps, just sort of more. Like I didn't really explore the jungle that much with Ostelos. I just didn't. Um, I was more like, hey, let's see how these new like switch skills things works. And to be honest, I'm not. If it doesn't like if it's not a little more customizable than I think it's gonna be, I'm probably not gonna use it. Like I'm probably just gonna sit on one skill set and just do that.
Yeah. I definitely like getting to explore more of the jungle
Mm-hmm.
because there's like there's like a whole new above tree section that you get into with like these large I think fungal plates that you can
Okay.
stand on. So there's definitely a lot to look into and explore around on that map. Um, it's kind of smaller, I would say, in a lot of areas than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Just like comparatively to what each like noticeable zone that was reinterpreted from the original, like the main beach that then leads to that um, island with the temple again. Those zones I would say are both smaller than what their original versions were. So it does
Yeah.
feel kind of weird. And I wish that the Temple Island was a little further out than they have it laid out in the game because they definitely in the older games it looks like you're walking more along like a really long sandbar to get to it. So I
Yeah,
would have
it's
maybe liked a
basically
little bit more length.
they basically took the zone cutoff to go into the transition and from each end and just smushed them together like a puzzle piece. Is
Yeah.
essentially what happened. And yeah, I get it. You get a larger perspective in the other games with that. Um, yeah, I they are smaller, but I wonder if that's because they're like, okay, so if we make it about this percent smaller, we could put this much more detail because we got to fill in everything, right? Like you're just filling in arenas in the older games. Now you're filling in the whole map
Yeah.
simultaneously in this one, and
Yeah. I mean there's also the verticality factor too
yeah,
because it's all one succinct map and it's not just zones that are all flat and don't really have that sort of perspective except
right,
for like when you get into the zones that do have like the cliff elements like the zone that's close to camp where you have the
mm-hmm,
cliff that leads up to the that one almost rectangular section in the jungle.
Sure. Yeah. I didn't go in the caves at all because Ostolos doesn't go in there, so I didn't even look at those. Um, it'd be funny if we got Vespoid Queen back because that's where she appears. Is that map?
Yeah.
I noticed the right away that we have Hornitars back too. We got Hornitars
Mhm.
in the jungle, and I was like, oh, that's cool. A new monster back. I wonder if we're going to see Aptonoth now that we're in the jungle. I don't understand how they didn't include Aptonoth in the game, considering. Oh, that's rough. That's rough. That's the one herbivore that I would feel is a flagship of Monster Hunter, and it just wasn't
Yeah.
there.
We'll see. I mean, I was gonna say, Aptonoth are sort of like the cows, of the series. But then I was like, well, I mean, like
They could
in
be in the
Asia they got like
Citadel.
water buffalo and stuff, and like yaks. So like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, theoretically they should have Aptonoth too. So whatever, we'll see.
We'll see if the
Hopefully they
Citadel
bring
has
it
them.
back. If not, oh well.
Yeah, I hope the Citadel. I really hope they come back. Like I don't know how you don't have them. Like it's insane to me. Um, but we'll.
I know you've mentioned it before that they're almost like on the same level of like Rathalos is sort of like a
Yep.
low key flagship of the series.
Yeah, of the entire series. Like they've been in every game up until Rise. Like they're the preferred pack animal, and if you the Freedom Unite intro, right? Like he has like a pack Aptonoth with him on the hunts. Like I'd love to have a pack Aptonoth, like as like your like sort of like slow moving companion. Like that
Mm-hmm.
idea has always fascinated me. Like sort of like not necessarily because you always just appear at the map, right? Like you go from the hunting hub to whatever map you're on. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if there was some sort of like mechanic of traveling and you had your pack
Mm-hmm.
Aptonoth and like maybe you get attacked by a monster on the way or something like like
Yeah, I mean, in wasn't it the Freedom Unite uh intro where
yep,
you're essentially traveling with Aptonoth, and
it's where
they use
yeah,
Aptonoth as the cart, like two or three Aptonoth as the cart hauler for the captured Rathian.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'd definitely like to see more of like that world building type stuff.
I would too. I would. I'm not big on story a lot of times, but if I care about the series, I am. And
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. I mean, I was going to say earlier, and I just thought of this while you were talking about it earlier. We talked about the rampages being gone. I think what's replacing the rampages is the sort of quests where you're out with people, like the whatever the companion quests they call them or whatever. Where you have to do them solo. Like I think those are probably going to replace the rampage, and as far as like that level of mechanic, like that tier of quest, you know what I mean? That sort of like mid
Mm-hmm.
tier, like oh here's a companion quest with like Malzeno or whatever, instead of like Zora Magdaros or Leo Shan or like all these old siege monsters that became a rampage and Rise. I think we're just going to get a
Right.
hunt with companions. It's going to be like storyline, got to do it kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That'd
Yeah,
suck if
we'll see.
it's tied to progression, though. I mean, I get why, story wise, but like, it's like, oh wait, it's we're back to the old Monster Hunter World problems. Like, oh, I got to go do this quest, and then we can pair up together. Let me quit on the cutscene. Like,
Yeah, I'm still low-key salty that we never got Lao Shan Lung in a rampage, because I think that would have been a fun addition
yeah, I mean, it
to
is a
have
siege monster.
Lao Lao Shan slowly going through the map, and then also having other animals other monsters attack at the same time. But
We did the all Rajang one. That was nuts.
yeah, electric monkey balls everywhere.
Yeah, that was rough. That was probably the roughest rampage I've ever done.
Yeah, we got it done.
We did. We did. We got an S plus still, but dang, we got an S plus a couple times. We've done it with the girls too, but that's mostly
Mhm.
me knowing what to do and them helping out. It's fun now. Um, so with things coming out like Thursday, I think it's a bit weird, at least in the United States, for this to come out on a Thursday. So
Mhm.
wh- I know you're working usually those nights, but are you going to be like getting up early during the day and playing, or because
Um,
essentially it'll be Wednesday night
I'll
when this
probably
releases.
be buying a lot of energy drinks.
Mm.
So
Like
yeah,
I'm,
because I didn't request off for any of the days. So
I've
and that's usually been a
thought
thing
about
that
it.
I've done is request off, but
Hmm.
I was like, it's at sort of a weird time, and like my my PTO, although far better at my current job than all my previous jobs, I'd still like to conserve it for when I need it right now.
Yeah, yeah, because you've got some life events coming up that you're going to need it for.
Well, I mean, like we mentioned before in the Discord, I'll be getting the same amount as my fiance, and she's gonna have me start mine uh before hers, just so that I can be home in anticipation
Hmm.
of events and not have to like be at work and then be like, oh shit, we gotta fucking go now. I gotta race home
Hmm.
or like meet up at the hospital. So
Right.
we'll see. We'll
It's
see.
a ride. I've been there twice. It's a ride.
Hmm.
I was
I mean,
with her both times that we decided to go in, so it wasn't a problem for us. But um, both of them were extremely long labors. Cece was
mm,
65 hours and Emery was 42.
mm,
And when I saw about the 65-hour one, people are like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, "Oh, it was." I was there the whole time. Not that I was in near as much distress as the ex-wife was at the time, but like
mm.
that was, you don't get to shower, you don't get, like, there's no comfort. You're just in a hospital room for like 3
Oh yeah,
days
those
straight. Like,
those chairs. I would I would I just DoorDash like from Target, just door see if I could DoorDash like a tent and a sleeping bag and some pillows. Just be
yeah,
like, give me something.
I had some people getting on me about being tired and not really helping with Kathy at certain points. It's like, I've been here for 3 days. Like, I can't.
I mean, like, w- other than like being there by her side, I don't know
Well, so there was
what
some.
more you
She had
could
some
really
back pain,
do.
and she really wanted someone to push on her back. And I tried for a while, but like, look, I've been like sleeping in a hospital chair for 3 days. Like, I can't. Like, I was exhausted, so like I couldn't barely push on her. And then
All right.
someone who like got to go home, got to go to bed, was like, "Fine, I'll do it." And then like she wanted someone to push on her back because she felt pressure, and I was just like, okay. I just went back to the chair and went to sleep because I was just like exhausted, and I was nowhere near exhausted as she was, but you know, I wasn't going through what she was going through, but like it's not a cakewalk for the guy either.
Right.
It's it's not like I'm sitting there being like, "Whoa, good luck with that," just sitting in the chair like.
Yeah.
I didn't bring my 3DS or anything at the time. I was just like, nope, I guess I'll focus on her. But I ended up downloading a cell phone game and playing it just to be sane because it was like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? The second kid was much easier though. We watched Jurassic World while she was sitting in there. Just two of us watching Jurassic World
Yeah.
while we're waiting on
I'll have
things to
to
happen.
maybe pack us a go bag and make sure we have phone chargers and a slot
Yep.
for the tablet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're gonna need entertainment stuff because there is going to be downtime. There just is downtime, and that's something that I didn't realize until the second one. So,
Mm.
and the second one, I would have, if I had a Switch, I would have brought it. Like I, but she was born in 2016, so it was the year before. So,
Hmm. I mean, we've got three versions of the Switch in the household, so
oh, I
between
have four.
the two of us and Jack, we got it covered. So
In fact, I have an extra one now because of the girls. Like I've got. It's funny. There's a giant spider sitting in the back of it right now, but you can see it. There it is.
oh jeez.
Like I've just got that sitting on my desk for the past
I
couple
think
months.
I forgot about that, but I think that's still weird how they have like the notch in the back of the Switch light
Yeah,
since you're not supposed to put it in the dock. I don't get why
it's just a
it's
spider
there.
home right now. It's just that's where the spider's hanging out. I don't
I
know why
mean,
he's sitting there, but I don't even know he's alive.
weird spot for a spider, but
No, he's alive. I
uh
touched him and he
when I
bolted.
was still in high school, in our in my old house,
Mm-hmm.
we had in the back room of the basement, we had like a little home gym set up,
Yeah.
and I was working out one day, and I looked over at the power strip that was like for the elliptical and the TV and stuff, and I noticed like a weird like circle under it, and I was like, is that like a coil and extension part of it? And like I took a closer look at it, and I was like, those are scales. So I went upstairs and got like a small piece of Tupperware, and I poked holes in the top of it for air, and I lifted it up when I got back down, and sure enough, it was like a baby garter snake that had found
Oh,
its way into the basement and coiled around under the bottom of the power strip because I guess it was producing
heat.
enough heat where it was like, I want to be here.
Interesting. Huh.
But of course, when I went and picked it up, of course it did its flail and musk thing. So that was wonderful, wonderful smell.
Yeah, there was I don't know what kind of snake it was. It might have been a garter snake, but it was big. It was like we're talking like
Mm.
a 7 foot snake. It was
Oh yeah,
sunbathing in the road by us. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went around it and I didn't hit it with the car coming home, but I went out and looked at it. It's like, oh, okay, that's a big snake. Because I thought it was like like an inner tube for a tire or something just laying in the road at first. I was like, I don't, I didn't run over it just to be safe. And sure enough, it was a snake. So later on that weekend, he was further down the road sunbathing again. And I just couldn't avoid him. There was a car coming on the other way. So I'm like, I can't pull into the other lane to not hit him. So I ended up running over him. And unfortunately, um, and it felt like hitting a speed bump. Like he was a big snake.
oof.
And,
Yeah. In our backyard, we had a compost heap where we'd put like
mhm,
vegetable trimmings and stuff like that, and it's mainly like the grass trimmings from the yard.
yeah,
So over time, obviously, that would like dry out and decompose.
yeah,
So we had like a lot of garter snakes that would nest in there just for the heat and like the gases and stuff.
yeah,
And uh, there was a particular like either like a garter snake that was like mostly like black in coloration or maybe like a rat snake or something like that,
hmm,
but there was like a 5 foot long like thick and fast snake that was in there because there were a few times because I like to go out and
hmm,
look at the snakes and stuff like that and look at bugs and stuff under like all the tree stumps that we had because we had a couple of trees fall down over the years that we conserved as like firewood. Um, so I would always go out to like the compost heap with the dog dog tennis ball launcher as like my impromptu snake hook, and I would like dig around the grass to try and find them. And one time it just like shot out like super fast and ran away. I was like, "Whoa, I
They
want to
can
catch that." I never did, but I wanted to because I was like, "Damn, that would be cool to catch that."
they can be fast. There's a type of snake out here called a blue racer. It's a black snake with like a blue
Hmm.
stripe, and those things are very fast. That's just they
Hmm.
just whoosh, they just glide through the ground.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a good thing though that I'm not. We're not. I wasn't living in southwestern or western Wisconsin because in some areas out there they actually have rattlesnakes.
mm-hmm,
Um, and one year in Boy Scouts, we went to camp in Virginia,
mm-hmm.
and going to coming back from the showers one morning, our scoutmaster happened across a rattlesnake that was just crossing across crossing the trail, and then they also have water moccasins in the area, and I'm not sure if it's what these scouts caught on their fishing line, but they caught a dark looking snake on their fishing line,
Mm.
and I was concerned.
Yeah,
Didn't go near it, but I was like, whoa.
we have four venomous snakes here in Ohio. One of them is the water moccasin. The other one is the timberwood rattlesnake, and then the other one, which is probably the one that they saw in Virginia, and it might be even the one that's in Wisconsin as well. They're, as far as I know, they're the eastern rattlesnake. There could be more. Um, and then we also have cottonmouths and copperheads. And I have ran across two cottonmouths out here. Um, we were concerned that the big one laying in the road was a copperhead, but it was kind of hard to tell because we didn't want to get that close. Um, but yeah, it was. But it was just sunbathing. It's not like it was gonna creep up.
Yeah, my old boss from Target Tech days, or my old area manager from Target Tech days, uh, we all sort of kept in touch after like our district disbanded because they switched from a third party company to Target employees doing phone activations.
Yeah.
He, as part of his job, eventually moved out to Arizona for a time
Hmm.
and recounted having to constantly deal with scorpions being around the area.
That'd freak me out. That would. I mean, I'm not usually very afraid of bugs and that kind of stuff, but like I say
Yeah,
that until
and
there's
then
one on you or that kind of thing. I'm not afraid of mice, but I've told you the story where one ran up my pant leg. So like that that one was
uh,
that's just
yeah, I don't know if
me
you saw
out.
it several months ago. I think it was Saudi Arabia. I don't know. It was in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there was a region that had like a I want to say like a couple days or possibly like a week long uh, infestation slash epidemic of scorpions because flooding had gone to like all the caves and like low lying areas that they usually reside in. So it like forced them out of their usual spots that they hide in. So they went went to the areas that were dry, which were like in the cities. So a lot of people were like getting stung and stuff like that. So it's like, oof, nature can be scary at times.
Yeah, that reminds me of the Family Guy bit. Damn, nature, you scary.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, it's just yeah. It's sometimes like as much as I've grown up in the country, sometimes they're just scary stuff. Sometimes it's really awesome stuff too. Like there was a fawn, uh, just like just running in the road. I mean, I had if I didn't slow down, I would have hit it. But like little tiny baby deer. It was really cool to see you just hoppling her on like Bambi pouncing down the road. And
Hmm.
we see stuff like
Yeah, I
that. We
mean,
have a bunch of rabbits that live near our house, so you'll see them every once in a while.
mhm. Yeah. When I was younger, we used to go up to my grandma and grandpa's house on my mom's side a lot more. Uh, and more than once we saw black bears that
Hmm.
would come like right up into like the front yard and like eat from the bird feeders and stuff like that.
Yeah, my uncle encountered one recently here, a couple years
Hmm.
ago. He was he does some blacksmithing work. That's what he used to do, and
Hmm.
he was outside looking for something, and he heard like he thought it was one of the cats knock something over, and
Hmm.
just black bear just comes rumbling out into the yard just looking for stuff, and he's just like he just stood there and looked at it, and it just looked at him a little bit, and it was like, whoop, I guess I'm in the wrong spot. And it just like slowly turned around and walked back in the woods. Because they're not super big.
Hmm.
Black bears are really small compared to other bears. They're like a large dog sized. But they're,
Yeah.
like, it's still scary. Like, it's still a bear. Like, that thing will still mess you up if you aggravate it. So he was
Yeah.
a little on edge, but like we get bears, and supposedly the eastern cougar is extinct, but we've seen one here within the past couple of years too.
Hmm.
So they're still around. It's just super small numbers. Oh man. So back to Sunbreak. We didn't talk about Gore Magala. Now, that's because Espinus to me eclipses Gore Magala in a lot of
Nice
ways.
joke. Nice joke. Nice unintentional joke.
Yes. Um,
Because when
Shagar.
Gore Magala goes into its enraged state, it like blots out the sun and stuff.
Yep. Um. So I almost expect we're gonna get Shagaru, and I do believe that that is one of the tower monsters we're gonna get
Hmm.
because he has a special arena when you fight him every time. So I feel like he's going to be one of the DLC tower monsters as well. Because we're supposed to get several quote unquote monsters. So, and I don't
Right.
think they're all going to be in the tower either. And we also have the special species, which is a new thing and they haven't explained yet. So, whatever that is.
Hmm. Interesting. Let me see.
I don't really know. That's one of the ones I just didn't list is Gore Magala. So that's 12. I forgot about Gore. Um so I'm looking forward to playing the game. What's up?
I was just thinking, since we got Espinus and that opens the door to Frontier monsters,
Mhm.
and because we got Velociprey back, what if we
Mhm.
get Frontier, a Zenith Velocidrome, or whichever it was that does the
The
Farcaster
Farcaster breath.
maneuver?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be
Oh, that'd be
hilarious.
funny.
I loved that. When was it Morg that talked about that? The
Hmm.
Farcaster breath? Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh man, I miss Morg. He should come around more often.
Yeah, yeah,
Um
maybe eventually.
yeah. He actually talked about coming back to the show at one point with me, but he
Hmm.
hasn't followed up on that since. Whatever.
Mm.
We got Sasha now. We're good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's got his own Discord and his own things going on. So, I mean, he has. I don't know even what he's doing for work anymore. Seemed like
Yeah,
the
he had a lot of
very
problems with.
strange seasonal stuff.
Yeah, he had a lot of problems with his landscaping job. I think he's moved on to something different. He said, but we'll see.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I don't have much else to say other than we're excited for Sunbreak. We've talked about. I mean, other than Gore, we didn't talk too much about Gore, but
I mean, I'm probably gonna rock the rock the armor and the insect glaive right away because those are some
They're
of my
good.
favorite looks in the series. Just aesthetically alone.
I guess one of the things for me is I'm excited to craft new sets, armor sets, because you know me, I gotta have the anti KO, I gotta have the part breaker, and I gotta have focus for what I'm doing.
Hmm.
Like those three are required. So whatever I can get, and what are we doing for the charm system? Is it staying the same? Like
Or are we gonna get the four slot gem
right?
pieces again?
Yeah, we're gonna get those.
Are we gonna
Um,
get the ultimate armor at the end that has 3 4 slot gem pieces? That was
yeah.
crazy that they did that in Iceborne.
Hmm. They were good. They were good. Very good. Got crazy with the skills in Iceborne.
Mm,
I kind of want to see that happen with Sunbreak. I kind of want to see how crazy can we get the because even for Ultimate, like for Ultimate, you had sets that had like 7 different positive things, right? Like
mm,
I've got a crap ton of positive things on my set now, probably over 10, but like they're all 1 points or 2 points or that kind of thing.
yeah.
I mean, my current build that I'm using right now has a full handicraft loadout on top of my good three, and
Nice.
as well as some defense, uh, just straight up like the defense skill. Don't think I have attack skill. I think it's just defense. But my other set, my set before I did the handicraft one had attack instead of handicraft. But I really needed the
Mm,
sharpness because the great sword sharpness isn't great on some of those swords. Like just not. It's just not there. The only one that
yeah.
you have a decent amount of white sharpness is Valstrax. That's it.
Yeah. I know my set currently in Rise is based based with four of the Nargacuga pieces, and then I believe I've got the Rathalos helm for the final bit of part breaker,
Yeah.
and then so it's high evasion, high part breaker.
Well,
Um,
I mean, as
I
you
think
know, I'm the large proponent of part breaker around here.
I think just for the shit of it, so I can just keep on with attacking with the insect glaive too. I put on like 2 or 3 slots of speed sharpening, and then um, buff elemental based on whatever I'm using, or buff the status when I'm using poison and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Uh, but I did, as you know, I did go and do the ramp. I upgraded the or ramped up the rampage insect glaive and got to 250 damage, and then with the expert gems, I think that I have slotted in. I have. Let me see. I think I yeah -5% affinity.
Yeah.
So I think it like just base level from upgrading it automatically is like 30 or 40%
Hmm.
-30 40% affinity. So that was pretty good
Oh
to
yeah.
slot that all the way up.
Yeah, that negative affinity can really be detrimental sometimes because
Yeah, let's see. Level
I
5 crit eye, level 5 defense boost, level 4 evade window, evade extender, part breaker 3, speed sharpening 3, counter strike 2.
mm-hmm.
So not too bad for an insect glaive set. I maybe should slot in something for stamina, just because I tend to always run out of that, having to bounce around in the air, and that uses up stamina. But
Sure.
I
I
don't know.
mean, I'd like a more offensive guard. I think that's the thing that I really would look forward to because I do use the guard push on the great sword. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
like I would use the switch skill if I was allowed to keep the offensive guard push on both sets. You look very concerned.
I just heard a very loud crash. I'm gonna go check, make sure things aren't broken.
Okay. So for this portion of the audio, it's just going to be me because Ace has to check on something. Um, I guess some other things that I'd like to see in Sunbreak is, um, still talking about the skills. Is I would like to see some new skills introduced that were kind of like the combination skills that we used to have. Like you see a lot of them in Generations Ultimate that I'm thinking of, but there was one. It was like a handicraft and attack or something like that. There was like these good combination skills that were like this and that, this and that, and I would like to see a lot of because they really, but they were hard to get. But so like I don't know. I kind of would just want to see all the crazy stuff that we can get. I'm not. I a lot of people used to think that Iceborne had too much skills to work with, and while I kind of agree with that, like it is kind of nice to make something that is in a lot of ways, like feels powerful, feels very powerful. But you put the work into it to get there. I remember like I didn't get a lot into theory crafting and set building for a long time until For Ultimate. I've been playing since the first game because I just wore full armor sets for the longest time. In fact, in Generations Ultimate, I still do that just because I want. I'll just try to get Partbreaker and a relevant resistance is what I'll try to do in Generations Ultimate. So I'm just really looking forward to a lot of a lot of what we have to see. Um, I also would like uh I would also like to see some other things like just I'm trying to think how do I describe this. I'd like to see some like we're obviously going to have the upgrade for the armor and power talisman. We're probably going to see um I'd like to see some more varied items and that kind of stuff. I wonder with how the game's set up because like we normally don't get too many more items from high rank to master rank. But I like to see some new things. I do like the endemic life that we're getting. Uh, it's just I don't know. I don't know. I'm super excited, but I don't. I kind of want to be surprised. I can't. You can't really predict a lot of these things, unfortunately. And man, Ace is taking a long time. It's really hard for me to fill this up by myself. This is why I normally have um so come Thursday, we're gonna have a lot more insight onto what's going on. However, that first weekend we're going to start right off with the game quiz, and if you audience remember, we are going to do, and I'll probably remind Ace as well, that we are going to do 1985, 1993, 1999, 2007, and 2015, and I do believe that those are all new years. Like I don't think we have repeated those. None of those years are a repeat. So I'm going to be writing the questions probably during this week. Probably going to try to get the games Monday solidified on what the games are, and then start writing the questions throughout the whole week, so that I can try to be done by Thursday and maybe Wednesday night. So might even have to start tonight or tomorrow instead of Monday like I normally do, just so I have the time. Um, I'm excited to do some of the old ones, especially 1985. But like that one's obviously going to have some Nintendo stuff, but I'm going to find some PC stuff too. And unfortunately, Sasha's not going to do uh, um, not gonna do too much with the Monster Hunter stuff. I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling at this point because I am. I don't know where Ace is. I'm just gonna cut this. There we go. Make something on the audio, and now I'm just gonna cut it. And Twitch is still going. Doesn't sound like anyone's here. Nothing. All right. I feel bad anyone watching this on the VOD afterwards. And we're back. Everything good?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Better decisions just need to be made.
Oh.
I don't think a dish got broken. It was just dropped and made very loud noise.
Oh, okay. Jack? Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids. Yeah.
Kids and tablets and stuff.
Yep. What I did a little bit of monologuing while you're gone, but I just ran out of content. So I just clapped and clapped you back in when you got back because I'm just gonna cut.
Okay.
I'm gonna cut some audio on that.
That works.
But I did.
That works.
I'm gonna keep some of the rambling in there because I did talk a little bit about the fact that we're doing the quiz next week as well. So we're probably gonna do the quiz, and then we're probably gonna lead into Monster Hunter talk and some other things with Sasha at the time. So,
I mean, with that dead air, you could just do like a EKG just flatlining.
Oh, that'd be very annoying for people. I'm sure people would turn it off. Like I was just worried about because we've got an audience of people watching the VOD on Twitch after a while. So we have about 9 people who watch it afterwards a week. And I was just like, well, this is going to be very awkward for the Twitch folks. So I just started dancing on screen. Is this like...
Fair enough.
Like, because the audio...
if you're not used to monologuing, yeah, it could be very difficult.
I went a good... I don't know, more than half the time you were gone, I was doing a decent monologue, but then I just started running out of things to say, and I just started rambling, and I was like, you know what? I'm just done. I'm just gonna cut it.
Fair enough.
So I'll figure out where that is. I can do some extra editing tomorrow. So, anything else to say about Sunbreak before we go tonight, Ace?
Not really. I mean, I'm excited for it,
Yeah, I mean, obviously we are.
and
Yeah.
there will be plenty of opportunities for listeners of the podcast, watchers of the uh, Twitch to join our Discord and
Yeah.
join in on some hunts. We're always open, so
Yeah, actually, Pan is waiting for us to join her on a hunt after this. She wants to try out the demo, so we'll
all
be
right.
doing that soon. If you like Ace, I'm gonna take a little break and get the girls in here because they are staying in my room this weekend because of earlier things that I told you about.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's been fun not sleeping. They sleep fine. I do not very well. Um,
Oh, you want to talk not sleeping? I went to sleep last night, and then I woke up around like 3 or 4 in the morning,
oof.
early around like 3:30 something, and then I just couldn't fall back asleep.
Yeah, it's
And then
happened
so
to me
I just
before.
watched, and then so I just watched the rest of Umbrella Academy
Hmm.
season 3, and then got up, went to work at 7, got done at 3, went had lunch at the mall, came back, almost fell as well. Apparently was in and out because Andrea said I was snoring.
Mm.
So maybe got like a 5 or 10 minute nap, and then I woke up and because I had gum in my mouth and I like startled myself awake because I felt it fall out of my mouth and I was like, no, I don't need it on the pillow or blankets or anything.
Oh,
Um, so I've been awake since.
jeez. Yeah, I had a couple rough nights this week, especially
Mm-hmm.
last night. Last night was funny because girls normally go to bed by 9:30 now, which is like
Mm-hmm.
right after we start the podcast usually. So my parents have been taking care of that, but with them staying in here this week, like it was like I was like, okay, girls, just watch cartoons, lay down, be quiet, and I figured they'd fall asleep sometime 9:30, 10 usual. I turned
Oh,
around at midnight. They're still wide awake. And I'm like, this
mm-hmm.
isn't good. So I just like turned off the TV, turned off the lights, and I sat here playing a game. They fell asleep like that. Like just done. Out.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I was ready to go to bed, I had to like shovel them into the right positions so I could get into bed. Like, oh boy. Yeah. Can't wait till I move out. Normally they have their own room, but we've had some issues lately. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been fun. Um,
It's been
one week.
1 week since you looked at me.
Yep. My favorite band right there. One of them. So, alrighty. Well, folks, thanks for tuning in today. We'll catch you next week with the quiz. Do you need reminded on the years, Ace? I reminded the audience. They're all new.
I I have them in my thing. I haven't studied it all yet, so it's probably shaping up to be a great episode of nothing until we get to the later years.
Eh, even the later years are kind of rough. Like, I think the latest year on the list is 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, latest year on the list is 2015.
All right.
So, just confirmed. Alrighty. Well, thanks everyone for watching. We'll catch you next week. Be sure to join the Discord, which is on our Twitters, and I think you can search out the Discord Hunters Hub, but it's at Hunters Hub Pod on Twitter and Twitch, and you can find me on Reddit. Fortuan, just Fortuan. I have all of our stuff linked on my Reddit account now, since you can do that. Um, So if you're familiar with Reddit and you look my username up, just r/u/Fortuan, and then you can look up there, and I have all the Hunter Sub stuff there. And then Ace at Ace Badger Gaming on Twitter, and get a plethora of video game stuff, Monster Hunter, and politics. And With me, you just get Monster Hunter stuff lately. Sorry, and Starship Troopers because
Mhm.
I really like that game. And there's some Starship Trooper account that keeps liking my stuff. I like it.
All right, that's pretty cool.
I don't know if they're official, but they have the Federation logo,
Hmm.
so it's fun. Anyways, we'll talk about we'll get to the game of the year talk later on this next year, and you'll hear all about this game. Sunbreak is probably going to be on there though. Like no way it isn't. Like I don't foresee it not being on there. So
Yeah.
alrighty, well, later folks.
See ya.